Welcome to Dad Bods, Crabcakes, and Sports, where husky middle-aged men share insight on the latest Baltimore sports news. From the bank to the yard and beyond, we're breaking down the Ravens, Orioles, Terps, and more. Baltimore's best sports podcast starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to Dad Bods, Crabcakes, and Sports, where this evening you are going to get all three of us back together again. Jason, John, and Mike for a late night version of Dad Bods, Crabcakes, and Sports. We were supposed to have a special guest, but we had, I think, a scheduling issue or maybe a falling asleep. Who knows? I'm not real sure. But that special guest will remain a secret until we are ready to do that. As you all can see, I'm once again wearing a pirate hat. I'm wearing a pirate hat, Michael, because the Baltimore Orioles made another significant splash in the baseball stuff. And I have all kinds of rants for you crazy ass Oriole fans that go through highs and lows every 30 seconds of the day, including you yourself, Mike. However, I thought we were in a good place, Mike, and then we weren't, and then we are, and then we're kinda. So Shane Boz from the Tampa Rays is your newest Baltimore Oriole for quite the minor league package, and I highlight minor league because I think that is the biggest part of all of this. And when I say minor league, we're not talking Mike minor league like this year, next year, or potentially the year after. I mean, we're talking impacts more than likely in the 28-29 seasons. So we can go over the whole package and whatnot, but just to kind of get started, for me, a win-win as your three or worse starter on this team so far.
Shane Baz. I think we got him because John thought there was a Z in his name, and we needed a guy with the letter Z. So I think that's why we got Shane Baz originally. No, but I think I've been on the roller coaster that Jason's been speaking of all day. And I think, Jason, when I texted you originally, I said, like, is that too much? Like, how did we do with that? It seemed like a lot of prospects. And if you look on the surface, Baz, his numbers last year weren't like outstanding. But you got to keep in mind, too, that the Rays basically played their home games in a minor league stadium. So that definitely skews the ERA and some of the numbers. And if you look at what he did in away games, his stats are much more appealing, closer to somewhere in the threes with his ERA versus 4.8 or whatever it looks like on paper if you just take an initial look. And his stuff is nasty. I mean, he can reach 100. He throws 97 with a fastball. He's got some good off-speed stuff. And he's a guy that the Rays, coming off of Tommy John's, just recently, it usually takes a year or two, right, for that to be back to prime shape. And maybe, the Orioles, like you said, Jason, you talked me into this earlier. You said the Orioles have done a good job with Trevor Rogers. They've done a good job with Kyle Bradish. So maybe I should just trust in their guys, Elias and Sig and all those other guys in the front office, and see if this works out.
I sometimes think that we forget about what we have discussed on previous shows, but one of the things that I have harped on, besides that, is the fact that like the Orioles, when they identify certain pitchers that they really want, and I use the term controllable pitchers. I'm not talking about changing an old ass tiger on life support stripes like Charlie Morton or even Chigano, who's 35 years old. I mean, there's only so much you can do there. But when you can influence a 26-year-old, a 24-year-old, a 28-year-old, which I think is like Rogers, or Kyle Bradish, who was in your system for a couple years after they made the changes that he had in Anaheim. So when you're able to work with a guy and notice something, and this is why I really have hope with Helsley too, Mike, that they identify certain things from these guys. Are like, oh my gosh, yeah, why don't we just get them to work on this? And there's certain pitches that the Orioles really, really like their guys to throw. And if it's already there, a little tweak here and there, that's why I'm 100% confident that if they're willing, because Mike Elias and Jason Weisbecker, I don't like to give up prospects for nothing. And we've had arguments about this. But if he's willing to shell out that many prospects, Mike, that means that there's got to be something. I'm convinced there's something that they see there that they can run with. Now, is this guy going to be Cy Young? Cy Young guy? I don't know. But is he? Could he be an ace? Absolutely. He could be this team's number one, two, or three if things work out, or he could just be a three and win 12 to 15 games every year with a three ERA.
John, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I can see that. As I watched some videos and read some more, I kind of thought, you know what, this is a haul for a guy who's had one full season in the big leagues. But then you go back and read the scouting reports, you go back and you watch some of the videos days, and he's almost 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio kind of guy. He's the kind of guy that, again, we always talk about the harder to throw, the more likely you are to be injured, the more susceptibility you have to those sorts of things. But I think, the Orioles have kind of needed a bigger arm in this starting rotation, somebody who's going to be a strikeout pitcher, who's going to be, doing those things. And I think that remains to be seen because he just hasn't had enough major league time. He has that one full season. But at least I like seeing them not unloading guys on the big league roster and unloading the guys, like you said, in the minor leagues who are still, a number of years away from the show.
Yeah, I mean, any trade. So I thought that any trade that they did that was going to bring back a significant arm in a trade would be Mayo was at least going, which is also interesting because Mayo and Mountcastle are still on this roster. And I'm thinking that their next move would more than likely be a free agent signing because of the haul that they gave up. But there's still other pieces that they could trade. And I'm not convinced that a Peralta deal will cost as much as Shane Bods because of the 1 versus 3 years of control, right? So
Yeah, and
that's where
I
I'm
think
at, Mike.
I think it depends on who your trade partner is. Like, if you are trading with Milwaukee, they're still trying to compete, so they don't need 5 single A prospects. They need somebody who's going to help them next year too. So I think that comes into play as well. And I talked to you, Jason, and the question I have for you, Jason and John, the timing of this right after Michael King signing back with the San Diego Padres, it kind of makes you wonder, have they been trying to get a deal done with Framber Valdez and Ranger Suarez, and have they kind of come to an impasse there, or the price is just too high, or maybe they know they're out of the bidding? Is that a possibility? Or, Jason, you made a suggestion that possibly it's a backup move in case they can't get one of those guys potentially. But the timing of it makes me wonder, maybe they're pivoting away from free agency. And like you said, maybe we get both of those guys in trades. And that's kind of what we've done to cover. John, what are your thoughts?
Well, I've read a couple places that they're still pursuing Ranger Suarez. I don't know if that's true. And like you said, Jason, a lot of times what we hear about the Baltimore front office is just smoke and mirrors. It's not actually what's going to be happening, But I could see this being, he's got a lively arm. We think that he's going to do something good for us in the next, 3 to 5 years, and then kind of go from there. But I still think they're going to go out and get a big arm. I think they're going to go out and get one of the medium tier guys out there. I don't know if we're going to make a big splash and bring in the actual, 5 years, 250, 300 million, but I think we're going to get something.
So a lot of things here. Number one, the timing. A lot of times, players and teams like to have something done specifically before Christmas. It happens every year. They like to know what's settled. I still am convinced one of these guys is signing before Christmas. Another thing, the Amai situation, that might be the leader in the clubhouse for what's holding everything up. Now, I don't know for sure, But that could be the big domino to fall to kind of see where the market is. Because right now the big market for the high end pitchers is 6 years, 200 and what, 50 million or what was it, 210, 210, whatever it is. It was stupid. But the thing that I believe is the years. I think the years are what's holding everyone up because I heard Ranger Suarez thinks he could get 7 years. I I mean, if I'm not willing to give Dylan C 7 years, I'm not so sure Ranger Suarez is. And I think teams are thinking 5, and they could be pushed to a 6 and an option. So I'm kind of thinking that's what's happened with Ranger Suarez, with Valdez. That incident that he had last year is causing a big stir. If anyone knows, though, what type of guy this is, it's um, Mike Elias, who was in that organization before. It's also Perez, who found him in the Dominican Republic back when he was younger, when they brought him up. So these guys know what kind of guy they're working with. Again, it could be a year thing. It could be that, hey, we're just going to wait, let some things work out. Because the Michael King thing, it was I don't even know if he was ready to sign if it wasn't San Diego and being a comfortable fit and, and stuff like that. So I just think there's this log jam in the pitching department, Mike. I do think I'm convinced that they will get one of these. If they don't get it, they're going to go down fighting, and they're going to have a really good offer on the table like they did with Schwarber. I'm convinced they're going to get one of these two big guys. I just can't see them, so I'm confused here. I'm not confused. I'm confusing myself. They have all this excess now from the Alonso signing and whatnot, and then the Mountcastle signing, bringing him back and whatnot. So what are we doing? Like, you got to trade somewhere. I'm still thinking they might trade for bullpen help.
I
So
have
I don't
I
know,
have
Mike.
a lot of excess, Jason, and it keeps me warm, and
Yeah,
it's a store of energy, and it helps with some certain vitamins, and so that's what I use my excess for.
outstanding, Mike. I'm so glad you chimed in. I couldn't be
Yeah,
happier for you.
it's called body fat.
Um, I figured. Yeah, so I don't know. I still think though that they're going to get one of these big free agents. I keep going back and forth which one. They got to come down on the years. I don't think the money is a big deal. I think that'll work itself out. But the other thing I said to you also plays here. They are still below the budget by $20 million plus or so from last year and what they're paying year to year. So, and they're fine. They've said they're fine going past that budget. So the next move will more than likely push them back. So that's what they're working with. That's why I'm way like I'm perfectly fine with whatever they decide to do. But they also still have to get a couple more bullpen pieces as well.
Yeah, I'm curious to what other teams think of our guys who are close to major league ready. I wonder what they think about Kobe Mayo. I wonder what teams think about Heston Kjerstad. I wonder if people are asking about Holiday and Rutschman. You know what I'm saying? And we're not playing in that water right now. We want them to come down a level. So I think there's probably a lot that goes on. I've heard what you've heard, Jason. MLB insiders talk about how both Suarez and Valdez are looking for 6, maybe even 7, 6, 7, 6, 7 years in a contract. But I think what you're going to look for is these teams aren't willing to pay 6, so they're going to be coming back to their agents with deals of like, hey, what kind of opt outs are there? Think about what the King deal was, right? Like King wants to bet on himself and see if he can get another big contract. So there's opt outs, I think, after the first year in that deal. So I think if we're not going to go 6 years, how are we going to structure the contract? And that takes some negotiation, probably back and forth with agents in the right place. And so I think that could be what's drawing this process out with some of these top tier guys. Um, as far as what the Orioles are doing with Mountcastle and what the Orioles are doing with Mayo, one of those guys is going, like if not both. I just can't see us going into the season with 3 right-handed hitting first basemen. So I just don't know how it's going to go down, but it's going to go down at some point.
I've been saying it since the beginning here. I do think the Mountcastle will get traded for a reliever. I think that's a good fit. Like, and who was I listening to? Stan the Fan, Charles earlier today, and Luke Jones. Or and these guys, I like them a lot, but they mentioned that they would trade Mayo for a left-handed reliever with 3 to 5, like 3 or 4 years of control. I'm not sold on a guy that's a top 100 prospect in baseball. Yeah, he's a slow starter here to do that for a reliever. Mountcastle can get you a reliever, and I don't need multiple years from reliever. Give me 1 year. I'm fine with building the bullpen year to year. Okay, I mean, and they should be using this minor league excess back to excess, Mike, to do that. So, John, I'm fine with. I mean, that's my prediction. I'm not convinced that Mayo's going to go, mainly because maybe we're doing what most Oriole fans do, and including Mike, where we're overvaluing our own talent. And I'm not so sure. Sorry, Mike. I'm not
All
so
right.
sure what where we're at as far as that goes.
Yeah, I think Mountcastle is probably your better trade piece in terms of getting somebody from the bullpen, simply because he's a reliably good defensive first baseman. He can come through with the hits here and there. But I agree, Jason. I think relievers aren't as big of a necessity to get more than a year or two out of, because it seems like our bullpen at every bullpen in the major leagues outside of the back end is flipping every couple years. When you have a lefty gone, you got to pick up more lefties or righties, whatever, vice versa. But I could see them hanging on to Mayo until they get the right deal, where it's actually somebody who's going to make a huge impact right now. But Mountcastle, I totally agree. I think he's a plug and play first baseman for any team in the league, and we could get a half decent arm in the bullpen for him.
Yeah, I mean, I had also heard that there was some. I mean, that I wouldn't totally shut down the chance that they would sign another free agent bat that's out there. Now, I don't know if that means you're swimming in the Tucker waters, if you're swimming in the Bellinger waters, who I think is bound for one of the New York teams. But I don't have a feeling, or I have a feeling that they may not be shut down there. But what went hand in hand with that is I thought that whatever trade was going to come by, if it was going to be one of these major, and I didn't expect Shane Bods to be in here. I put him in the like below the Peralta level. Probably right with the Gore. I mean, they're probably the same. One was drafted, I think, 2 overall when they were drafted. The other was drafted like 11th overall in the first round. And I mean, he's left-handed, right? So he's got that going for him. But so he's in that tier for me. But as far as if they're shopping in if they're going for one of the bigger pitchers and they're giving up the guys on their major league roster, maybe they would be more active in trying to bring in one of the free agents. Mike, I
Yeah,
texted you about that the other day.
yeah, you did. I don't know about the other thing about Mountcastle, John. I think you might be overvaluing what other teams might think of Mountcastle. Like, I don't know that he's an everyday first baseman. I think on a good team he might be a platoon guy. But if you listen to Connor on Locked On the other day, his platoon splits were horrible. Is even on the good side. So I think you might be even looking at a DFA for Ryan Mountcastle. I'm not 100% sure. That would be disappointing, I think, but it is a possibility. The other teams know that we're not rostering 3 right-handed hitting first basemen, so they might just be playing the waiting game. So you got to look at it from the other perspective as well. I do think Ryan Mountcastle still has some good baseball left in him, and I do think that he on the right team could play some good defensive first base and be a right-handed platoon split somewhere and really be an asset to a good team. He could go to somewhere like Pittsburgh, probably. He could go somewhere, on the low end of teams, maybe even Tampa, something like that, and fit in well in a place like that. But I think we might be overvaluing what Ryan Mountcastle is to other teams.
Well,
I don't
they have
think
a couple.
Tampa.
Go
Sorry,
ahead, John.
Jason. I don't think Tampa would be interested. I don't think Tampa
Well,
would
they
be a
have what
good
that's what I
fit.
was going to say. They have Aranda and they have
Yeah,
the
Diaz.
big Cuban fella. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Utility, whatever.
you know who actually I think could actually use him and potentially is like a team like Houston, where you got like a real small ballpark down there. You could use a guy. I mean, they did trade for Urias last year, so I'm not surprised by anything anymore. Um, I don't know. I kind of agree with Mike. I was shocked when they picked it up. It made sense though for insurance because they weren't sure what was going to happen, if people were going to take their deals or not. Sounds like Craig Alvarez is a big reason why Alonso's here. So, I mean, he was able to close the deal there. So, if maybe they weren't as confident, so they decided to bring in Mountcastle before all that went down. But then a DFA is 100% what I thought was going to happen, and I wouldn't be surprised. It's either if no one bites on him, probably getting DFA'd, and that's not a loss. It's not a loss. Like it just didn't work out, and it's time to move on. And it's like all these minor leaguers that were thrown in today. I I would be shocked. What's the one dude? What's the country western version of Vanilla Ice? Guy that's got like the music career going on DeBron, right? So this guy hasn't played minor league baseball yet. Just so everyone out there is paying attention, he hasn't played yet. Okay, they drafted him. They needed money to not go to Vanderbilt, and he leveraged his music producing career in country music rap. So I'm sure he's a ball of fun. Let's just say that. But no, so I don't know. But that's what they are. Like, there's a really good chance that out of those four or five guys, that like only one's going to work out, maybe none, a couple. So because they haven't debuted yet and they were just drafted last year and the year before, go ahead and take a chance. Ship them off. It's not, you didn't ship off any of your first round picks. You got like a compensatory pick that went off in that deal. So they're still holding the guys that they hold dear here. So Mike, I'm not like at all, as you can tell with my messages today, I'm not nervous. I'm cool with it. Um, I'm ready. So the thing that gets me about Boz is like, I want to see what he can do. Cause you had mentioned the Tommy John and this being last year, the first full year that speaks volumes to me. So I'll be curious to see how that works out. And if he ends up being a two, fine. But they do have some work to do still. At least one more pitcher because that gives you depth with Tyler Wells as well in case you need a spot start here and there. All right. So, anything else you guys want to touch on in Major League Baseball, the Orioles, anything like that?
The compensatory is around round A or round one. Isn't that? Didn't we get that from? Was it from Tampa?
So yeah. So what happened was that deal for Brian Baker went to we got their compensatory pick in the slot A, and then we took the DeBron kid, Vanilla Ice, and he. So then we also though traded a compensatory A pick back to them today.
Yeah.
So this also is something else we should mention. Like if they do sign one of the big boys, who's left? Valdez has a first round pick. Do they both have first round picks attached to them?
Qualifying offers.
So two of them, not Amai, but Ranger Suarez and Valdez both have. So are they going to be okay with not having a first round pick? Everything at up to this point this year says I think they'd be fine without it, and I think they would be fine without it.
It's really interesting too because I think the qualifying offer isn't it like 22 something million. I mean, Michael King only got average annual value of 25 million. Like it wasn't that much more than the qualifying offer that the Padres offered him. I just am surprised that he signed back there. But I mean, that's just a topic for another day.
Well, actually, hold on. Let's touch on it just real quick because I think it's actually super smart of him to do this. Because if you're trying to bet on yourself, Mike, and you're trying to get a better contract and you're going to probably opt out, wouldn't you want to stay where you're comfortable? You know where you're sleeping, you know where your house is, your family's there. I'm assuming he has family there, I'm not sure. But he needs kind of a prove it year on the field this year because he was injured the majority of the year last year. So why go to like a new place, which is all about pressure, going to New York and Boston, who seem like the two big teams where he could stay there, bet on himself, play on a very good baseball team.
He knows the team doctors when he gets hurt again, right? So
right, exactly. Stop it. Don't say that.
Sorry. We don't want you to be hurt, Michael King. We want you to stay healthy. Believe me.
I'm a huge Michael King fan, as you guys can tell. Like he was the one of those guys that I think he has the best stuff out of all of them out there. But he is betting on himself. I think it's a smart move just to stay home. So that's kind of what's happening there. John, do you have any final words you want to touch on here on the Oreos, hon?
Nope. I'm just trying to figure out how to order my Pete Alonso jersey off of Fanatics. they've been having 60% off sales lately. So I've been at least twice a week getting a package or two from Fanatics.
Did I see he's wearing number 25? Is that right? Number 25?
Yeah, that's correct. And John, I think he's spending all that overtime money he's making at work, on his Orioles collection.
Oh God, John, do we need to have a build wealth type conversation?
Yeah, I haven't purchased any jerseys. Just a couple hats and a couple pullovers.
Fantastic.
Nothing great. Nothing too crazy.
All right.
My brother just sends me jerseys from China that he pays like $5 for,
Oh, nice. All right. Well, hey, while we're on this, no, you know what? I'm going to save that one for later. I'm going to save it for later. But so the Ravens, this was the whole reason we're having a special guest on tonight. A friend of mine from Boston who hosts the radio show as well. But again, we will keep that one for another time. Maybe if we play them in the playoffs, but if that even happens. But the Ravens and Patriots play Sunday.
Who's talking about playoffs?
Oh my God! All right, John. Well done. So yes, Ravens, Patriots, Sunday Night Football. I think the Steelers are losing to the Lions this week. So that means that if the Ravens can somehow beat New England, that the week next week is essentially useless and meaningless until the Ravens and the Steelers play on Sunday night, or pardon me, on Sunday, probably Sunday night in 2 weeks. So how are we
feeling? Is that a flex game?
Not yet. Wait, which game?
No, so the Steelers game, was that on?
No,
Not yet.
not
I
yet.
don't think
Not
they
yet.
don't have to decide until after this weekend, and then
okay.
I think it's like 10 days or something like that. But John, so how are we feeling? What are we thinking? Are we nervous? Are we not nervous? I feel like Paul Revere with this thing. I should probably take this off.
Are they one if by land, two if by sea, Jason?
The flex game though, John, too, and Jason, they usually save that for like that number 4 seed. That's a divisional matchup, and it's that Sunday night game. That's right before. It's like the last game of the year. So if the Ravens and Steelers game means something, I'm quite certain it might be that.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Well, I'm not terribly concerned. I saw Hamilton was on the injury report today. I was just a little while ago checking out the Nesson website, kind of just doing a little bit of digging on the Red Sox and the Patriots. But I think if this defense plays the way that they played last week and an inspired football, the Ravens aren't good, and they were just talking about that on Locked On Ravens this morning. How the Ravens aren't great inside the 20, inside the red zone, but the Patriots are even worse inside the red zone on defense. So, that'll be a very interesting thing to see go on. Are somebody popping popcorn?
Someone's popping something. I'm not sure what it is. Is someone shooting fireworks?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know what you guys are speaking of.
I don't know. Something going on. Something's
right.
going on. This is a Baltimore show, so it could be any number of things.
Only one of us lives in Baltimore, and he's nowhere near Baltimore.
John, I live in Falston. God bless us. Steve hears it, so it's something happening online. Everybody check your mics. Mic check. I'm right here. I'm Mike.
But yeah, I think we just got to run the football. I mean, if Henry has less than 30 carries, that's going to be disappointing. And making sure Keaton touches the ball, just don't throw it to him. Don't throw Keaton Mitchell the ball. Hand it to him. Pitch it to him. Something. Just don't throw it to him, because he has a little bit of problems catching the football. But I'm very pumped, and I think we're gonna win.
I would agree. Mike, what are your thoughts? Because I after talking to Bruce the other day, which was, by the way, if you guys haven't listened to it yet, please go back and listen to Mike and I's interview with Bruce Cunningham. It is by far my favorite interview. Sorry to everyone else that we've interviewed. We've had some really good ones, but that is by far my favorite one. And
I was laughing so hard on the way to work when he was telling the stories and stuff. He
Oh,
is such
good.
an sorry to interrupt, Jason, but he was very interesting stories that just some of them you hear, but coming actually right from the horse's mouth, kind
Oh,
of
it's good stuff.
kind of funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so Mike, I'm not convinced that we should just write this one off because I do think they'll compete. I think it'll be a closer game. They might be able to. I mean, Drake May doesn't turn the ball over very easily, and he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. It's going to be tough, but I think they know that when John Harbaugh, when the to get into the playoffs and do stuff that he's done in the past in the regular season for must win type games, they do a really good job of getting up for those games. So I don't want to sit here and predict anything just yet, but I'm not writing this one off like I would have the other day.
Yeah. I think Lamar, is he undefeated in week 15, 16, and 17? Something like that. His record in weeks 15, 16, 17 are ridiculous. Um, the Patriots are a good football team. You don't win 11 games or whatever they've won by accident. They're a good football team. They're well coached. Mike Vrabel has beaten good Ravens teams before. If you guys remember the Titans playoff game, I do, with Derrick Henry. But I think having Derrick Henry to lean on should be the difference in the game. And he gets better as the season goes on usually. And this is Derrick Henry's season. Right now, our offense should be predicated off Derrick Henry. But I will say this. I'd like to see some run pass option stuff. I'd like to see Lamar and Derrick together as a dual threat in the backfield. And I think Lamar has looked healthier. I know he battled the flu, I guess, this week. That's another conversation if you listen to the national media. But I think with that being said, Lamar in play action, Lamar in run pass option, multiple threats for the Ravens on offense is huge for us. And then obviously defensively, just continuing to play consistently, bend but not break. Third down defense is going to be really important. Red zone defense is going to be really important. And we're favored by, I think, 3 points, if I'm not mistaken, at home. So basically they're saying it's a pick 'em game other than the fact that the Ravens are at home. The Steelers, Jason, you said you think they're going to lose this weekend. They're a touchdown underdog, in
Yeah.
Detroit. I think that's a little heavy, but it's really interesting to see what Vegas thinks.
I mean, I think Pittsburgh's defense is a shell of what it has been for years past, and I think that's what they're taking into it because they know that Detroit can put up 50. I mean not 50, but I mean they could put up a lot. So, and I'm not convinced Pittsburgh can score anywhere near where they have to for them. Where I think the issue here with the Ravens is going to be is they cannot make the same mistakes that the Bengals let them off the hook with last week. So watching that game last week with the Bengals and the Ravens reminded me of it was like watching what the Ravens did, but swapped. So like everything the Ravens did to lose games early in the year, the Bengals did in that game. The Ravens they can't turn the ball over, and so many drops. Zay Flowers dropping significant passes like for touchdowns, stuff like this. Hold on to the football. They have to play clean football. And if they can do that, this not just this week, but the rest of the way through, you actually might get to see where this team's potential actually is. Because Lamar's making good plays. Like and it's just it seems to me when he drops back in the pocket and he goes to step back up into the pocket, it's no longer there. And I saw that even with Cincinnati's terrible pass rush. So New England's a lot better defensively than New England, or pardon me, than Cincinnati. So if they can somehow stymie that, come up with some sort of game plan there, run the ball like Steve says over here, run the football. Agreed. Free some stuff up, like Mike said, like the run pass option, different things. They can give it a shot, and I think this game's going to come down to the end. It'll be close. Do we want to make any predictions, John? Do you want to make a prediction? You're always
I
the
think
one that's out there.
I think it's a 32-29 game with a loop field goal at the very end.
Oh boy. Mike, do you want to be Baltimore's most hated?
I just don't know. I don't know what this game brings for us. I think New England's pissed off because they had a chance to clinch the division title last week and didn't against Buffalo. But I also think the Ravens have a ton to play for too. So it's not like either team doesn't have something huge to play for. So I think it's a fourth quarter game. I think it's going to be a tight game. Obviously, my heart says Ravens, and I don't think they win by more than a field goal if they do win. So that's why I say I don't really have a prediction.
So the one thing about that game, so Buffalo came back and beat Cincinnati the week before, and they beat them pretty handily after trailing. And then they came back from, was it 21 down or so? It was quite a
Yeah,
few last week. It does remind, like, the Ravens can score like the Bills can score. They can come back if they need to. They're built to come back. The problem being, can the defense make stops when it needs to? In that, and I'm going to say that the Ravens don't fall down by that much, and I'm going to take the Ravens, but I don't know by how much. I guess three or six seems to be popular. I'm going to take the Ravens 4-0. That's what I'm going to say. I'm just kidding, but
grand
no,
slam.
Two safeties. I wonder what the odds are on two safeties.
no, John, it's not two safeties. It'll be a field goal, and then on a 2-point conversion, they're going to take the ball and they're going to go down the other way, and they're going to score because I think
The
you get
Ravens
one
play a
point
lot
for
of
that.
3 safety sets.
But that
if
won't
you watch the
happen though,
Ravens.
Jason. You said
No?
4-0 because it
Oh, that's
wouldn't be
true.
it wouldn't
That's
be
true.
4-0. It has
All
to be
right,
two safeties.
you win this one, John. You win this one.
John, the Ravens play 3 safeties. I'm telling you, they don't play 2 safeties. They play
Wow.
3.
Outstanding. All right. So we'll see what happens. I do think it's going to be a much. I'm just like I said, it's going to be a much closer game. It'll be an exciting game. Hopefully, it won't be that be it for us. So what happens? Hold on. So what happens if we lose? So if the Ravens lose and Pittsburgh loses, what happens?
I
That's not
think
good.
we're in the
Pittsburgh still needs to
same.
lose one more time before we play them.
No,
Or
Yes.
no?
I think they have a 1-game lead. As long as they don't get a 2-game lead, we're okay because we can tie them in the last game of the
And
year.
then we have the who.
If
Okay.
we lose and they win, we're done.
Okay.
That's the
So
thing.
I don't have them winning. I don't have them winning. It's just a matter of whether the Ravens win or not in this one. Okay, so we are introducing a new segment this evening. Yes, Mike.
Can I say one more thing real quick?
You can
Have
say
you
as many things as
just
you want.
oh, this is great. I love having a platform. The whole Lamar thing that you guys heard that on national media about the fact that people are calling Lamar immature. I think what was one of the ESPN shows or First Take or one of those shows, or it was it was FS1. That's what it was. It was FS1 show, and they said that what quarterback do you know that has the flu every season for like 6 straight seasons and doesn't practice? I just was curious if you heard that take, number one, and what your thoughts are, as guys who are raving mad, I would say, right? What are your thoughts on Lamar in this immaturity or lack thereof?
John, would you like to go first?
Yes, I will. I just I don't know if it actually, they say he gets sick or it's just an illness or something. Who knows what they're hiding on the injury report or what it actually is. If he's just, like maybe he's a carrier of strep throat or maybe he's a carrier of influenza A or something. Who knows what it is. But I just think it's a whole bunch of baloney about nothing. I'm not worried.
So I think those are two different things. I think immaturity is one thing, and I think him being sick frequently is another. And he is sick frequently every year. He gets sick, whether and it goes back to the COVID time, or yeah, even before that. And he does, and he misses a little bit of practice going up to that. And Kevin's talked about it numerous times how he tends to have illnesses and whatnot. And I don't know what that's from. As far as immaturity goes, I think that's secondary, and I do think he's very immature in certain ways. I think the fact that, and I think this team is immature in certain ways. And I've heard stuff in the locker room, like these guys refuse to talk to the media after losing games. That shit would never have happened back in the Ray Lewis, Brian Billick, um, Terrell Suggs. Like these guys lose games, they stand up and talk about it. And this might make me sound like an old curmudgeon, but I think Lamar talked himself out of that Kansas City game like when they were getting beat down pretty good. And I've seen it before when he was injured a couple years ago and the Ravens started losing and Tyler Huntley was playing, I thought he was going to come back. But so now I do think there's I don't know if you want to call it immaturity. I mean, there's other guys that have reported stuff that he is, and guys that I have a lot of respect for, that have been writing for the Sun, doing other things that just think it's a Lamar show down there, and he's holding them all hostage. And there might be a little truth to that. Maybe not fully, but there might be a little truth to that.
Hmm.
I don't know if you expected that, Mike, but
No,
that's
I did. I didn't necessarily expect it. I don't think Lamar is immature just because of how he handles himself in general. Like he's just a kind of a selfless guy. He never throws his teammates under the bus. He kind of is a rah-rah guy. I have seen him get worn down, I think. I've worn down by losing. And I think he is a competitive guy. I don't think he's a sore I think he's a little bit of a sore loser is what I would say. I don't think he does well when he's losing. You guys have all played sports with people like that before. And you know that you have to either channel that competitive nature into rallying the troops, or you're a sore loser and everyone fusses and whines. And he has that little bit of him that I think that exists. However, I don't think he's immature. I think he handled his contract situation, I think very well. He doesn't speak in public ill about other people. That's what immaturity looks like in the NFL level, at least in my eyes. Aaron Rodgers calling his teammates out is immature in my eyes. Like that stuff to me doesn't show the depth that it would take to be a selfless individual. And to me, I think he's mature. Does he get sick a lot? Yes. The answer is yes. Why? Maybe he needs to wash his hands more. I don't know. But he needs to make sure that, and it could be an underlying condition that we don't know anything about, So I don't know that we should be judging all of that and calling that anything about maturity. I don't think I have any place to say that because everyone's battling something, and who knows what he's battling that we don't know
right.
about.
And again, I'd like to just be very clear that those are two completely different things. Like, yes, he's sick a lot. That's one thing. There is a case to be made that, I mean, call it immaturity, call it frustration, call it whatever you want. But I mean, there's something there. And I mean, I said all this, but I don't necessarily blame him. Your organization, they've got a lot of questions to answer here. And I know Bruce, when we talked to him, was talking about the front office having a lot of questions. I mean, pardon me, the coaches having a lot of questions. I think the front office owes a lot of explanations on why you have this offensive line in the situation. And then you came out like week 2 of training camp saying who the starters were just to, to give them confidence and to take it off. That is a huge mistake. So all of that needs to be corrected because you have the most dangerous weapon on the offensive side in football, and you're doing your best to waste it because you didn't do enough on the offensive line. But speaking of another day for that, we could do that for hours. So I think we all want the Ravens. Well, we all want the Ravens to win. I think we think they're going to win. Mike just won't jump over that line, but because then he can say, "Ha, I told you." But that's okay, Mike. I'll make it for you. Mike thinks they're going to win by 3. It's fine. Okay. So we are kicking off a brand new segment that Mike and I decided that John does not talk enough. So we're giving him his own segment. This is called John Out in Left Field. And John can pretty much talk about whatever he wants. Like John always wants to talk about like what people are wearing to galas and who's dating who and Paul Skeens, Mandong, whatever you want to talk about, whatever you love the most. We like
John's text messages is like a magazine. Like it's what's next. You never know what's going to happen.
So here's your platform, John. If you would like us to participate, just let us know. Otherwise,
Yeah, I will.
Go ahead.
I will. So I'm really, Jason, you've inspired me in many ways, Jason. I've known you for how long? 30, 32 years, 33 years, something like that, since we were little kids. And you inspired me to like want to get healthier and to want to like increase my life expectancy and things. So I've lost some weight and I'm taking Brickhouse Nutrition. You guys familiar with that?
I've heard about it.
I'm taking some creatine. I've noticed my like mental clarity and things has been better, and my workouts have been better. And I'm taking lean, and I'm taking Field of Greens and a few other supplements to help. And anyway, so I'm trying to like clean up my eating, cleaning up my lifestyle and things of that nature. So I get up like at 4:30 every day, go for a walk or go to the gym and lift. So I was shopping at Mike's favorite grocery chain at Aldi, and I got these protein packs. So I was sitting at my desk and I opened it, and as I'm eating the protein pack, it's cheese and these little sausages, these like little turkey sausages, and I was reading the ingredients as I was eating, and the first ingredient in turkey or in the sausage is is mechanically separated turkey. So it's turkey sausages, but its first ingredient is not turkey. It's mechanically separated turkey. Now, that like got some gears in my head spinning of like what the hell is mechanically separated turkey? Like that doesn't sound healthy in a protein pack. Like guys, right? Like you guys eat protein bars and protein packs and those things. But mechanically separated turkey. Like Jason, you hear that? What do you think? What do you think mechanically separated turkey is?
Oh no, you don't want to go down the rabbit hole that is my life as far as this kind of stuff. Like when I pick up a package now of something and I look on the back of it, if it's got more than 3 ingredients, I just put it back. Like because I'm trying now, this depends on how far you want to take this. Because if you're like me and you're like, I mean, we are a year away from chickens and goats for goat's milk and pigs and stuff like this on like a quasi homesteading type thing. Now that's probably farther than you want to take this. But as far as that goes, anything that is modified or anything like that, put it back. Like that stuff's terrible for you, but they make it seem that it's okay. Now, if you do enjoy that kind of stuff, it costs a little bit more money. You go to like Sprouts or Whole Foods. Well, Whole Foods, they kind of have some trickery in there. But if you go to Sprouts, you get the nitrate free stuff. So they don't put additives in it. You can get salami, sausage, pepperoni, and you get little pepperoni slices. And then you take cheese, like a good cheese, like a grass-fed cheese, and you cut it up, blah blah blah, and then you have your snack like that. But again, it all goes back to anything genetically modified, it's terrible. Bag of
It's
Doritos behind me for the children, worst thing in the world for you. It's great.
Mechanically separated turkey. Like, why don't you just use regular turkey? Why does it have to be like mechanically separated? Like, it makes no sense to me. And then
it's not good.
I'm like, no, it can't be. It's like those 99-cent store hot dogs we ate when we were kids. You know, you don't know what's in them, but they were delicious. But I was like, it was like 20 grams of protein in this little pack, and I thought this has to be delicious for you and good for you. I don't think mechanically separated turkey is good for you. I just
no, this is definitely not. This is definitely not. Well, is that it? Is that your rant?
That was my rant for the day, because I didn't know if you guys were familiar with mechanically separated turkey.
Unfortunately, Mike, I can see it in your face. You
John,
have some pain.
Oatmeal cream pies. Would they, Jason? Would that be whole food? Would that be something delicious?
Is it delicious, or is it? It's delicious.
I know it's delicious.
Should you put it in your body?
The Al Natural list, is that on the nitrate free list?
No, well, nitrates no, but I mean it's got some things. There's a couple modified.
I'm out on all these diets. I'm out
on it. It's not a diet. It's how people are supposed to eat before they started trying to kill us.
Just bring me pepperoni Jason, pizza.
So Jason, like, how does your liquor fit in all this?
Okay, so here's the deal.
That's what I really need to know.
Anyone that tells you that any alcohol whatsoever, like health benefits with red wine, that is the biggest crock of crap in the history of the planet. I drink alcohol still, okay? Because there are some if you try to get rid of every little thing in your life, like that's crazy, right? But if you do, say 90-10 or 95-5, whatever it is you want, like your compliance to it, alcohol is terrible for you. There are no health benefits to it. But if you're going to drink it, you're going to drink it. I suggest not drinking a bottle of vodka a day, but I still drink, not very often, but I'm not quitting alcohol, but there's no benefits to it, if that's what you're asking.
Oh well,
I think you do that.
kind of. I mean, because you look at the list of like jobs that lead to alcoholism, and like car
Yeah.
sales is at the very car sales, real estate, and being a medical doctor. So
Firefighter, police
Teachers
yeah,
aren't on that
officer.
list. I don't understand that. Whatever you say.
uh, well, I
That's
don't
because y'all
know.
go to happy hour.
Oh
Right,
yeah,
I
that's right.
that happy hour, Mike, I went to with you at on Thanksgiving, man.
Yes,
There was
I heard all
some of
about
those
this
teachers
happy
were a
hour.
little tipsy.
it's the real
Oh,
confessions of the teachers that happens there, right?
yes,
You could make
it's
a
a good
TV
time.
show about that. Probably. It probably has been made, right?
I'm
Oh,
sure.
all right. So the last thing I wanted to do, I was going to do this last show, but we all couldn't get together. So you guys might not be prepared. But if you remember, I asked you to come prepared with something. Do you remember what it was? Don't look on your phones. No, I'm just kidding. I okay. So I'm going to ask you guys. Um, I want you to choose if you like all these closing pitchers in baseball. They have walk-up songs. What would your walk-up? What is your walk-up song in life? So instead of choosing it ourselves, we're going to choose one for each other.
Ooh.
So I'll go first. John, yours is Pink Pony Club. You are
Pink
dancing
pony.
at the Pink Pony Club.
Oh my god.
That is what.
What the fuck is this?
Yep, it's a good time.
What the hell? I've just heard the music video on. Like, what the hell is this,
It's a
Jason?
good time, man. You've never heard that song before?
You've never heard this song before, John?
Or
No.
YMCA, John, one of the two. You take your
Oh
pick.
my
I don't mind
god.
it.
I don't
Mm.
All right. Do I have a good one for Mike? Let's see. All right, I'm gonna have to think. So, John, if you'd like to give out one to someone, go ahead. I gotta think. I gotta double check Mike because I was gonna have us do it for ourselves, but it's more fun if we can embarrass each other.
I was thinking like Jason something like Bop or something.
That doesn't make sense.
You know,
That was-
like he's trying to like roll back time. He's trying to like be
Oh.
healthy about
Well,
himself.
that's if I could turn back time.
Yeah,
Right.
it's literally
Jason-
in the song.
Isn't
I
that
mean, you
Cindy
don't even
Lauper?
have to go anywhere with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Sounds
Jason's
about right.
trying to turn back time there.
Oh man. I don't know, Mike. I'm thinking like working 9 to 5 for you.
How about well, I mean, there you go. I like that. Well, oh, man.
Well, Jason, after your pigs and stuff comment, I was thinking more so. Thank God I'm a country boy.
Oh, that'd be fabulous.
I can see you dancing to that. I can see
I'll
you
dance
dancing to
too.
that. That's
Who,
all
John
set.
at the Pink Pony Club?
John's song, I think, would be "Closing Time" by Semisonic, just because he's always working on closing the vehicles, and it takes apparently 3 days every time he's trying to close a vehicle. So closing time for John.
Like the door to the vehicle or like the sale?
No, the sale.
Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't know if he had trouble.
Well, and if he was a closer, this would be his
Oh.
his music.
He doesn't work for a Tesla dealership. It's pretty easy to shut the doors of these cars.
Oh, it's funny. The other night, I get a call from one of the other salesmen. Speaking of closing time and shutting the door, and she calls me and she's like, "Do you know anybody who lives like close to the dealership with a key?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but why?" She's like, "Well, one of my customers got locked in the dealership."
Oh, no.
So they locked the gate and everything, so I had to call whoever lived close with a key to unlock it. They got locked in the car dealer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right. So do we need to do any more? Do you need to do one for Mike, John?
Well, I was really contemplating some things with Mike, thinking about this just now. You know, and
I mean, you can
think
just
a
say
song
no
like-
if you don't have anything.
just
It's
like I
okay.
thought, a song like American Idiot would just be amazing.
Good
for Mike.
one. That's a good one. I love Green Day.
I think Mike could come into that song and be very good.
Well, that's outstanding.
Yeah.
Mike, do you have one from myself?
Oh gosh, man. See, I definitely came up with songs that I like, so I'll have to come up with these off the top of my head. Let's see. How about Sir Mix-a-Lot? Little baby
Oh,
got back.
Baby got back. Oh, that's funny as hell.
Jason, I think that would be fun. That would be fun. You're fun, Jason. That would be good, right?
Yep. Okay, so let's do one for ourselves. So say you're I'm gonna go for well, I don't have to go first, but either you're walking onto a major league diamond, this would be your song, or it's just your song that defies your everyday life. Who wants to go first? Well, Mike, you were probably prepared because it looks like
Well,
you
I
might
had
actually
I
have
had
something.
a two. I had two. One is just my career is career based. So like you may have heard of ACDC and they've got a song called I've Got Big Balls. And
Oh,
every day I have different types of balls that I like to utilize in class. So I was thinking of that. And then one of my all time favorite artists of all time, and you guys if you know me, it's Phil Collins. So I love the In the Air Tonight and the part like from The Hangover where it's like do. Yeah.
oh,
So
that's
I
also
think
Cole's favorite song, by the way. That part.
well, no wonder. He's got great taste.
John.
Mind meld.
Well, I was kind of thinking about this, and I think I'm Not Afraid by Eminem.
Oh,
I think I would
very
walk out
good.
to that as I come in. As I come in, because
Oh
I'm not
man,
afraid. I go
well
I
up
was
to the
done.
thinking
mound
"Drive
with
Me
no
Crazy"
fear.
by was that Britney Spears? I don't know. One of those. I think that's more your style, John.
I thought
Eh.
you were saying the song that goes, "At first I was afraid, I was petrified."
I will
I was like,
survive, John.
okay,
I will
perfect,
survive.
well done. I guess. Oh, mine would be Country Road. It would 100% be Country Road.
Well, John goes close. He had another
Or
John Denver
country.
song for you.
Yeah,
Not Lonely Road. You're
no,
not a
not
Jelly
Lonely Road.
Roll.
I am not. I love
How
Jelly
about
Roll.
Red Dirt Road, Brooks and Dunn? That's a good one.
I like that one as well. I
There
do.
we
I
go.
do. All right. Well, just about does it for this evening. We do appreciate you guys tuning in with us late, or if you're catching up with us in the morning, it will be Saturday morning when, or Sunday, whenever this gets out. But we do appreciate the time. Stay tuned on. Pardon me. The next episode, as far as I know, will be Monday evening, probably around 5:30. We will be having a special guest. It will be Connor Newcomb from Locked On Orioles to go over all the Oriole moves. I'm kind of glad we waited so that now we have something else we can talk about besides. But we're going to catch up with the whole off season, see what he thinks, see what else he thinks heroes are going to do. So tune in on Facebook, 5:30 on Monday. Otherwise, please check us out on Apple Podcast, etc. So for John Landstrainer, Michael Frisky, I'm Jason Weisbecker, and we'll talk to you next time.
Don't forget to subscribe to Dad Bods, Crabcakes, and Sports on Red Circle, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you get your free podcasts. And while you're at it, leave us a review. It really helps us out. We're trying to spread the good word about Baltimore sports far and wide. Follow us on social media for more behind-the-scenes actions, memes, and bad sports takes. You can find us at Dad Bods, Crabcakes, and Sports on Instagram, and Dad Bods, Crabcakes, and Sports on our Facebook page. Until next time, keep rocking those dad bods, eating those crab cakes, and never miss the game.